I went on a blind date with an actual blind girl. I haven't been able to sleep since then. I know the title sounds like a setup for a joke, but I swear on everything I love, this is real. And I'm writing this at 4:47 a.m. because I physically cannot close my eyes anymore without seeing her face. So here's the context. I'm 28, recently got out of a long-term relationship about 6 months ago, and my best friend Jake has been absolutely relentless about getting me back out there. Last Tuesday he texts me saying his girlfriend has this friend who's perfect for me and that we'd really hit it off. The usual setup, right? I was hesitant, but Jake's girlfriend Emma is pretty perceptive, so I figured why not. Here's the thing though, and this is important. Emma told me beforehand that Sarah, the girl, is blind, like completely blind since birth. She wanted to make sure I was comfortable with it and wasn't going to be weird about it. And honestly, I thought that was cool. I appreciated the heads up, and I figured if Emma thought we'd connect, there must be something there beyond just physical attraction, you know. It felt more genuine somehow. We agreed to meet at this Italian place downtown on Friday night. I got there early because I'm anxious like that, grabbed a table and waited. When Sarah arrived, I was genuinely struck by how beautiful she was. Long dark hair, this confident way of moving with her cane, and when she smiled in my general direction after the hostess guided her over, my heart did this stupid flutter thing I haven't felt in years. I stood up, said, "Hey Sarah, I'm Marcus," and she extended her hand perfectly in my direction. Her handshake was firm, warm. We sat down, and I'm not going to lie, the first 20 minutes were a little awkward on my end. I kept catching myself making hand gestures she couldn't see, almost saying, "Look at this," about the menu, stupid stuff like that. But she was so gracious about it, even making jokes to put me at ease. "Don't worry, most people forget within 5 minutes," she said with this playful smile. "I've had guys try to hand me written notes before." We laughed, and that broke the ice. The conversation started flowing naturally. She was a classical pianist, worked at a music school teaching kids, and was hilariously sarcastic. I told her about my job in software development, my obsession with cooking, my disastrous attempt at learning guitar. We talked about everything: philosophy, stupid reality TV we both hate-watched. She had a friend who described scenes to her, our families, past relationships. Here's where it gets weird. About an hour in, right after our entrees arrived, Sarah tilted her head in this curious way and said, "Can I ask you something that might sound strange?" "Of course," I said. "Do you have a scar on your left cheek?" I froze. I do have a scar on my left cheek, a small one from a bike accident when I was 7. It's not super visible, kind of faded, but it's there. "Yeah," I said slowly. "How did you?" "I can feel it," she said simply. "Not with my hands, I just sense it. The air moves differently around scars, around imperfections in skin." Okay, weird, but I'd heard that blind people develop enhanced other senses, so I brushed it off. "That's actually really cool," I said, trying to sound casual even though my heart was racing a bit. She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes this time. "You probably think I'm crazy." "Not at all," I insisted. "I think it's fascinating." We kept talking, but she kept doing these little things that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. She'd pause mid-sentence and turn her head slightly, like she was listening to something I couldn't hear. Once she stopped talking completely for almost 10 seconds, her face going completely blank, before shaking her head and apologizing. "Sorry," she said, "sometimes I get distracted." "By what?" I asked. She hesitated. "You're going to think I'm insane." "Try me." "I hear things," she said quietly, her fingers fidgeting with her napkin. "Not like hallucinations. I hear things that are actually there, just things other people don't hear. Like right now, there's a couple 3 tables behind you and the woman is crying. Silently, her boyfriend doesn't even notice." I casually glanced over my shoulder. Sure enough, there was a couple at a corner table, and the woman had tears streaming down her face while the guy scrolled on his phone, completely oblivious. "How the hell did you?" "I can hear her breathing pattern," Sarah said, the little catches in her throat, the way she's trying so hard to stay quiet. She paused. "I hear everything, Marcus, every heartbeat in this room, every whisper, every lie." The way she said, "every lie," made my blood run cold. I tried to laugh it off. "Well, good thing I'm being honest then." She didn't laugh. Instead, she reached across the table and said, "Can I touch your face? I know that's a weird request for a first date, but—" "No, it's fine," I said, leaning forward. I'd read that this was a normal thing for blind people, how they recognized faces. Her fingers were gentle, tracing my jawline, my cheekbones, my forehead. It should have been intimate, maybe even romantic, but when her fingers reached my eyes, she stopped. Her entire body went rigid. "Sarah, you okay?" Her hand was trembling. "Your eyes," she whispered. there, screaming. What? She pulled her hand back like she'd been burned. I'm sorry, I need to use the restroom. She grabbed her cane and stood up so quickly she almost knocked over her water glass. I watched her navigate to the bathroom with an urgency that seemed almost panicked. She was gone for almost 15 minutes. I sat there, my pasta getting cold, wondering if I should check on her or if she'd just decided to bail completely. I was pulling out my phone to text Emma when Sarah came back, but something was different. She sat down, folded her hands on the table, and said in this perfectly calm voice, I need to tell you something, and I need you to not freak out. Okay. I wasn't born blind, she said. I mean, technically I was, but I could see once. When I was 8 years old, I died for 4 minutes during a surgery. They brought me back, but when I woke up, I could see, perfectly, for the first and only time in my life. I didn't know what to say, so I just listened. I could see for exactly 6 hours, she continued. The doctors called it impossible, a miracle. My parents thought God had healed me, but at the end of those 6 hours, my vision didn't just fade, it inverted. I started seeing things that weren't there, or rather, things that were there but that no one else could see. What kind of things? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Shadows, she said, but not regular shadows. Shadows with shapes, with intentions. They were attached to people, Marcus. Hanging off them like parasites, and I realized I wasn't seeing with my eyes anymore. I was seeing with something else, something that opened up when I died. I should have stood up and left. I know how this sounds, but I was transfixed. The shadows drove me crazy, she said. I screamed for 3 days straight until my parents took me back to the hospital. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Eventually, my vision went completely dark again, but I never stopped seeing the shadows. I just see them differently now. I sense them. I hear them. I feel them. Why are you telling me this? I asked. She reached across the table again and found my hand, gripping it tightly. Because you have one Marcus attached to you, and it's been getting darker the whole time we've been sitting here. I pulled my hand away. Sarah, I think. It's sitting behind you, she said, her voice urgent now. It's been there since you sat down. It's tall, taller than the ceiling, and it's bent over you like it's whispering in your ear. And Marcus, her voice cracked, it knows I can sense it, and it's angry. I looked behind me. Obviously, there was nothing there. Just other diners, normal people eating normal meals. You think I'm crazy, she said flatly. I think you've been through trauma, I said carefully, and I think maybe these are manifestations of. It's touching you right now, she interrupted. Its hand is on your shoulder. You can't feel it, but I can hear it. It's making this sound like grinding metal and wet breathing. It's been following you for a long time, hasn't it? You've felt it, in dark rooms, when you're alone, that feeling that someone's watching you. My mouth went dry, because yes, for the past 6 months since my breakup I had been feeling that, exactly that. I'd chalked it up to anxiety, to depression, to the stress of being alone again. This is insane, I said, standing up. I'm sorry, Sarah, but I think. It's getting taller, she said, standing too. People at nearby tables were starting to look. Marcus, please, I can help you. I know someone who can. I have to go, I said, throwing cash on the table. I'm sorry. I walked out of that restaurant as fast as I could without running. I could hear Sarah calling after me, but I didn't turn around. I got in my car and drove home, my hands shaking on the wheel. That was 3 days ago. And here's why I can't sleep. Ever since that night, I've been hearing it too. The breathing, the grinding metal sound, exactly like she described. It starts every night around 2 a.m. I've checked every inch of my apartment for carbon monoxide leaks, for animals in the walls, for any logical explanation. But the sound isn't coming from my apartment. It's coming from right behind me, always right behind me, and it's getting louder. Last night, I woke up to find my bedroom freezing cold despite the heat being on. And on my mirror, something had written in the condensation, she shouldn't have told you. I called Sarah this morning. Emma gave me her number. Sarah answered on the first ring like she was expecting it. I believe you, I said. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, how long has it been since you felt truly happy, Marcus? I thought about it, really thought about it. 6 months, I admitted, since my breakup. That's when it attached to you, she said. They feed on grief, on loss, on the hole that gets left behind when something good is taken away, and the more they feed, the bigger they get, the stronger they get. How do I get rid of it? Can you come to my apartment? She asked. Tonight, I know someone who can help, but he needs to see you in person. And Marcus, don't come alone, it won't let you come alone. Bring someone you trust, someone who makes you feel safe. I'm supposed to go tonight. I asked Jake to come with me, but he thinks I've lost my mind. He's worried about me, thinks I'm having a breakdown. Maybe I am. Maybe Sarah is just a mentally ill woman who somehow convinced me to share her delusions. Maybe I'm so desperate for connection after my breakup that I'm literally making myself crazy. But I don't think so, because right now, as I'm typing this, my desk lamp is flickering, and in the mirror behind my computer screen, I can see my reflection. And there's a shadow behind me that's way too tall to be mine. I'm going to Sarah's tonight. I don't know what else to do. If anyone has experienced anything like this, please tell me. I need to know I'm not insane. And if you're reading this and I don't update within 24 hours, maybe don't go on any blind dates for a while. Update *, it's 5:13 a.m. now. The shadow just moved. I saw it in the corner of my eye. I'm leaving for Sarah's early. I can't stay here anymore. I'll update when I can. If I can.